How do you handle conflict with those who are former colleagues or former friends? We don't got to go deep into the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think how you handle conflict with some, if they're a former friend, they don't need to handle it. It's done. It's over. Let lying dogs lay. That's my thing. Like, if
it's good to have a peace treaty though. Oh no.
If we are friends.
Got you.
If we got a working relationship, like if me and you have an issue, we got to figure out that issue.
Yeah.
We got to figure that out. What if somebody that I'm not even talking to anymore?
Yeah.
It's a waste of energy.
You think too many enemies can end up being a liability to empire?
For sure. But you need strong enemies if you want to be special.
Okay, Elon, tell me more. What's up?
Well, I never forget. We was at dinner with somebody who was superstar in broadcasting, right? Very highly respected person for over the course of 30 years.
Yeah.
And we was just talking about like, yo, you know, as far as like people, how do people break into that next level of stardom, right? How do people break into that next level of like superstardom?
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying like one of the best ways to do that is to have strong opposition.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking strong opposition. I'm thinking like, you know, like the weirdos on live, that YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that's not strong opposition. Like they're not
powerful. Yeah.
Strong opposition is like you got the NRA on you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got, and she was like, but it's like, think about it. Like even Kim Kardashian, right? Like she has strong opposition.
Yeah.
But it's also elevated her.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate her, but she's the most followed person on Instagram, like number 3 Instagram followers, right? Yep. Like strong. And even Nipsey Hussle's last tweet, it's a blessing to have strong enemies.
That's crazy.
Every powerful person has had strong opposition.
Yeah.
You've never seen a powerful person in history that has not had strong opposition against them.
True. That's true.
So it's like, I don't think you could really, of course, it's always better to be, you know, have diplomacy when you can, but enemies, I mean, you can't, sometimes in life, it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
It's unavoidable.
Yeah.
So
sometimes it's better just to distance yourself away from certain people.
For sure. But they could still be an enemy.
True.
Like you might not be battling with somebody, but somebody's still battling you. Yeah. If I'm walking away from somebody and they punch me in the back of my head, they're still fighting you. They're still fighting me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I might not be fighting a person, but that doesn't mean that the person's going to stop fighting me.
And I always tell y'all, if y'all battling me, why don't y'all punch up and go for Buffett? Because pretty soon, I'm going to quit talking about a lot of this shit in aggregate. I'm like, why am I your litmus test goal? I'm trying to get to Tudor Jones, Buffett. But, you know, what do I know? That's interesting times we live in. But I agree. Even when I was in Jersey talking to Joe, he was saying the same thing. He like, even in the media space, it's good to have some of that hate because they'll drive up the metrics more than a fan will. He was like, you'll be surprised at how many people who may not like me or watching every week to see if I'm going to fall off, and they're driving the numbers up.
Thanks.
I said, damn, I never thought about it. Like the same Mayweather thing. A lot of people was tuning in for 8-9 years to see if he get knocked out. Hell of a draw. Will this be the one? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Learning how to monetize the hate or opposition.
Facts.
Need it.
Facts.
Yep. If you was a world-renowned financier, hypothetically, that did business all over the world, and all of a sudden you fell out of a plane and perished, wouldn't it behoove you to leave some of that money to some of your kids or have kids and leave it to them so you can keep your empire going? Or do you think that person may have died without having children? Conspiracy Bag, brought to you by Alex Jones.
If somebody was a financier and they died without having children?
Yeah.
Well, everybody doesn't have children.
What's the probability of a billionaire not having any kids?
Same probability as a regular person.
Impulsive. What?
I think poor people have more kids than rich people. Everybody that I knew, like my grandmother had 14 kids. I met somebody whose grandmother had 24 kids. I never met no rich person that had 24 kids, 14 kids. That's back in the days, like it's down south, like that. But just think about it. Even in Africa, right? I mean, the highest growth rate, right? For it's unfortunate, but just we gotta be honest, it's the poorest continent. GDP. What's the Asia? one of the richest continents, has negative growth rate.
Yeah.
Europe, wealthy continent, negative growth rate.
Yeah.
America's growth rate is not negative, but it's not on a level
flattening. Yeah.
So most of the time, you're going to have more kids in poverty than you are, because think about it, when you become educated now, you start think differently. You start to be a little bit more precautious. You start doing different things. It's when you up 20, 10 million, you ain't really just trying to have 30 kids. It's not responsible. You realize how much you got to pay, how much you start to calculate things. Every kid is going to cost $1 million. But when your circumstances are lower,
yeah,
as far as on the income realm, you don't really think about that the same way.
Yeah, that's true.